This video we're going to learn about how to encapsulate our logic into several into different Python modules for reusability. Alright, so in this script our counter is a very simple example. So you know, if this is all your code does, then you're fine, you're good to go, right? But in most cases your logic here, like what the actual program is doing at the core of it, is going to be much larger than this. And there may be cases where you want to maybe have this functionality more reusable, so that you can use it from a script like this in the command line tool, but you may want to have your other Python programs use it more natively as well. And so in that case, what we would do is we would create a module and then encapsulate and basically create an object inside of there and put all this logic inside of that object. That way you can import that object into other Python applications, and then you can even this one as well. And then it takes a lot of your I guess more hairier logic. Again, it will be more complicated than this, and gets it out of this script that's mainly just used to kind of run it. So let's go ahead and move this logic over here into a separate file and make it importable. And by the way, one of the things I wanted to show you too is if I open up my Python interpreter here and I import my word counter, I get this error message right away. And that is because as soon as I import this package, it actually starts running all this code, which doesn't work. And so that is why most Python code, they have this like if Dundee name equals main, then run this code. But having said that, it's still better to encapsulate your code and all your logic inside of an object. So I have a file here created called my counter, and let's go ahead and create an object in here and reference it in this one. So I'm just going to start copying it and pasting some code in here just so I don't have to type it in. So I'm going to call this my counter. And we're not going to talk about like the best practices for object-oriented programming here, but again, that's not the purpose of this lesson. So I'm just going to make it kind of quick and dirty. I'm sure there's a better kind of way to implement this. So basically what this does is it will take whatever arguments we pass to the constructor and it'll save it to the local instance of this object. And then we're going to create a method here called getTopWords. And then here we're going to pull in some of this logic. So when we run this method, we don't have to pass any arguments to it. We're going to go ahead and create a new counter, and then we're going to let's go ahead and assign it to the instance type. And then this needs to be replaced with file name. And then once this is done, we want to return. Alright, so now all of this logic lives inside of this method. When we create this counter, we're going to pass the file path from the top words. We're going to run this getTopWords method. It's going to create a new counter, open the file, parse it out, count the words, and then return this. Now I'm sure there's definitely a better way to implement this object, but again, for the purpose of this lesson, we're just trying to encapsulate our logic into something else that's reusable. So now, back to our script, what we can do is we can import it in here. So import, let's say from, and now we can create an instance of that object. Counter equals my counter, and I'm going to pass in the arguments to it. So rx.file and then rx.words. And then here we're going to go ahead and get the top words from it. So we're going to run the method that we just created. Get top words, and then we're going to print them. Oops, sorry. All right, let's see what it does. Uh-oh. Let's see. Oh. There we go. So again, much cleaner implementation than before. Now our script here just runs this, parses the command line arguments, create this object, runs a method on it, and just prints the results. If we had another program that wanted to use the same logic, it'd be very trivial if we were to just go ahead and import the counter and then reuse all this logic in it natively. I hope you found this lesson informative and practical. Please leave me a comment. Let me know what you think.